Hey guys, it's been a while since you've been in my classroom with me. For those of you who are new, my name is Brianna and I am a third grade teacher in North Carolina. So welcome. A couple things have changed. I took off last week, not of school, but from YouTube. I just wanted to focus on school and wrap my head around everything. So it was nice to just have that time to myself, but I miss YouTube. I miss interacting with you guys. So I wanted to show you the changes I've made and things that are happening now in my classroom. First of all, I did get a new lanyard, and I will link the company I got this from down below. These are like clay balls. They're not like, I don't know, they're like hardened. But I got 3 different ones and now it's like trapped inside there. I got 3 different ones. So I'm wearing this blue rose gold one. And it's just on this string that clips in the back. Thought it was different, and I like how long it is because normally my lanyard would always be knocking on my chest and it was just annoying. So let me show you the changes I've made around the classroom. So I did end up getting the mini picture stands for every table caddy. I just liked how it held the folders. They've only fallen twice from kids bumping them with their backpacks in the morning, but that's because they're new, so they know they're there now. And as you can tell, I need to fix this area here. It's a little cluttered. So they each have 2 folders at their table. The red one is for Math the Room, which is the task cards around the room. And the green one is for their independent practice. So it's awesome because every day for math, I already have their independent practice out, so I don't have to waste time passing that out or anything. So I love that. I was just working on this anchor chart of all of our multiplication strategies. I really like how that turned out. Nothing fancy, but gets the point across. I have a ton of task cards in random spots around the classroom. I ran out of places to put sticky clips. I think I need to put more down along here, but I just saw an open spot, so I put it in. I love my title for October. So festive. The kids' trees are up on our Twist and Shout Our Work Stands Out board. Some of them are made a little funky, so they're kind of hanging. They're all not correct, but that's why I hung them inside the classroom. I think I plan to only hang things that are correct in the hallway. But yeah, we've been doing citizenship and government. I finally got this Shop Till You Drop anchor chart up on the wall. It fills that space. It's perfect for that space, and I like it there. We did get our new anchor chart paper in. I obviously don't want to keep it there, but that's where it is for now. I'll probably take it out and stack it this way, right there. The library is looking a little bit messy. I'm going to need, my librarians are kind of slow workers. When I picked their jobs, I did not know that. So I'll have to find some time for them to fix this place. And this table back here is like finally clear, which is awesome. Oh, I also hung this little bulletin board set that I had for all of the branches of government. I got a skeleton from the Dollar Tree. We are about to start teaching bones, and I'm so excited to start science. I also want to use him as a little incentive. I think I'm going to start putting candy on clean desks because some of us are having a little trouble. Oh my. One other thing about these red folders, I'm going to collect them and take them with me because I look through and check my kids' work. Another thing I wanted to mention is I asked for your suggestions in my video that I just posted last week for intervention ideas. Some people were telling me to get the students tested and all this stuff, and there is a process in my school, so that's the point of intervening. We have to intervene. In North Carolina, you have to intervene, and if they don't show growth, then you move to tier 3, and then they get private interventions, and if they still don't show growth, then they are tested. So it's a whole process, and it's not as easy as some of you might have it, and I'm a little jealous because especially if you don't start interventions until late in the year, kids fall behind and they get lost in the cracks. But I am doing everything I can to make sure that they all get what they need to succeed. I have to get a little word study together for my Low Babies reading group, and then I think I'm gonna head out. So I'll show you what I come up with. All right, so I pulled this short vowels and digraph sort from the Red Book in Words Their Way. I've personally never been trained on this, so my students took their assessment at the beginning of the year. This is not the student I was basing it off of, but the one I am needs help with digraphs. So the rest of them are kind of, well, before all of these, in digraphs and blends are picture sorts, and I feel like that's not what my kids need. They need spelling words and to learn and look at the words and learn how to spell them. So we are going to start this tomorrow, and I'm just doing this with one group, and I'm going to kind of work with it and see what I come up with. This specific one, they can sort by short vowel and by final digraph, which is nice because I can see their understanding in both of them. So I'm trying to do a sort with my low kids because they need help with decoding words and really understanding how words are spelled and what different vowel combinations and different consonant combinations and just words in general. I think that will really help them out. So I want to do that in addition with them during our reading groups. When my Scholastic order comes in, I'm really excited because I got 2 free two free sets of 6 different chapter books. So I'm going to do a literature circle with my high group, or a book study with them. That way I don't have to meet with them as often. I can just check in with them and they would feel like they're being more challenged. I'm happy though that we are starting nonfiction this week because I'm starting with a nonfiction guided reading. So I'm constantly reviewing those text features, which I'm not even introducing till Wednesday. So it's been helpful in small group. It's kind of giving them that, what's it called? But it's giving them that exposure before, I forget what the word is called. Yeah, so I'm really excited for tomorrow's lesson because we're doing the doorbell rang to start division. If you have never heard of this activity and everything, it is a Georgia unit lesson. So there are questions that go with it too. And it's very hands-on, and it has the book element and it has word problems later, so it just ties it all together. And it's a great transition from multiplication to division. My students have been doing super well with multiplication. Some of you were talking about with rounding to do number lines. That is how I started. I started with Blair Turner's Rounding Roadway PowerPoint. That went amazing, but I quickly switched to the rhyme and underlining and boxing. So with the students that are still struggling, I'm just going to go back to number lines and have them do it that way. But I was not able to meet with that small group today because math centers went over, causing reading groups to go over. But I did meet with every single group in both math and reading, which is awesome. I just have to start making my morning lesson go a little bit faster. But since it was Monday, I went over morning work to kind of refresh their memories. I don't usually go over morning work that's kind of my piece of, this is what the kids know, this is where I need to help them out. So I think I'm just going to collect that from now on. I ordered that coffee that I received in my Pampered Teacher box, which, by the way, I love this thermos thing because I tried to use a Yeti, or it wasn't a Yeti, it was an Ozark Trail the other day because I left this at school, and it just keeps my coffee way too hot. And since this inside is plastic, it cools it down. So the Pampered Teacher, if you're interested in getting a subscription box, down below. I am now working with the company, so just throwing that out there. Disclaimer, I really love what they stand for. Self-care in teachers is so important. So if you would like to check them out, your first box, my code will be down below. They sent me coffee from Peru, which I found the company, the coffee shop. So I'll link that down below as well. The coffee was $16 and shipping was $7. This is coming from Washington, D.C., or right outside D.C. So kind of expensive, but I don't know how big. I think it said 16 ounces. I will show you when it comes in, but it's the Peru Cusco kind. It just tastes like coffee, but also black tea. So it's not as harsh, and I drink my coffee black, so it makes it so much easier. It's not harsh on my stomach. It's literally, when I tell you, the most amazing coffee I've ever tried. Like, I would not have paid $23 for it if I didn't love it. But that I discovered through the Pampered Teacher, which is awesome. But I will leave their coffee shop down below, which is not affiliated with the Pampered Teacher. They just happen to share their coffee with me. So the Pampered Teacher bought the coffee and put it in the subscription box, is what I mean. And they have coffee beans from all over the world. It's amazing. They have a subscription, but it's $100 for 3 months of new coffee every 2 weeks. I wish they kind of had a smaller version, but they mostly sell to companies and things. So definitely check them out. I think that is all for today. So I'm going to head out, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, I am so excited to be filming again. I just have been all over the place. I don't know, but I'm here and I want to film. So today is Monday, and we are wrapping up our multiplication and division strategies. And I really want to look into a lesson for tomorrow from Magic of Math. I will link it down below. It's Hope King and Amy Lemon's whole math unit. I want to look into something engaging that's hands-on, that'll make it click. Because my kids understand fair sharing. They understand making equal groups. They understand making arrays. They understand picking the equations to go with it. I just need to do like some activity to bring it all together. So yeah, lately I just feel like, I don't know, today it was just a Monday. So we were just slow and just like, they looked bored the whole time and I felt bad. But I have been remediating on rounding and they're doing much better. We made skeletons today. I'll show you what those look like. So we did skeletons with Q-tips today, and tomorrow we are going to label them. For science and talking about their bones. The kids really, really loved this activity. It's so cute. And it's perfect for October. So I tried to make myself a little tripod right there, but it didn't work. The lighting is better this way anyway, because the windows obviously. So let me show you some things. Last week I started reading groups, and I didn't get to them every day, but we're talking about text features. So I kind of just met with kids. I met with mostly my low groups to just point out text features in different texts. I have some who are still clueless when I say, what is this? And it's a caption. I mean, there's really no other way to teach it except give them the definition and show them examples. I I don't know what else to do. If you have any tips, let me know. But we do have a subscription to Scholastic News, which is awesome. So this is not about Hurricane Florence, but it is about the hurricane that happened in Puerto Rico last year. So we were looking at this today and identifying all the text features in it. If you've never seen Scholastic News before, it has graphs, it has sidebars, it has labels, it has captions, it has subheadings, it has headings, it has glossaries, it has bold print, and then it has these questions on the back. And then it comes with like a whole teacher's guide for the Scholastic News. It comes with close reading questions, which is amazing. Now this obviously is not my reading levels, but it's 3rd grade content. And I thought this was cool because we're starting graphing soon, so I want to come back to this one so we can look through it. But it has text feature questions. So I'm gonna go make copies of these and do this with my kids tomorrow in small group because they have a test coming up on Thursday. And I think it would be good for me to sit with them, talk about them, and write with them. My high group, I might pull them and we might read some of it together and answer them. But I just really like the idea of being able to do this with my kids. And it says right here, teachers download an interactive version of the skill sheet at that website. Perfect. So I'm going to do that right now to print this out. Interactive version. I wonder if they could type it. That's cool. But yeah, that was really amazing that it comes with that. And it literally has building vocabulary, writing task. Like it has so much to do with it. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So for activities like the skeletons, I usually like to have the kids' materials ready for them in little baggies, but I've been a Slack teacher. So instead, I just used one of these little buckets for each table and filled it with Q-tips. And then I had my table captains, which is a job. I had my table captains give a handful to each child at their table, and they made sure they had 20 and they put the extras back in here. So out of a whole container of Q-tips, this is how much I have left because all of those are empty, and that worked fine. I didn't have any kids who needed to play in here or made a mess or whatnot, and they just used glue stick glue to glue it down, and it seems to have done okay. Like it's on there barely, but it's on there. It's on there. And the heads, we have the die cut machine, so that's where they came from. Right now, I'm really focusing on reviewing rounding skills. I didn't spend a lot of time on that, so that's what I'm working on this week during intervention time. So class time for centers, they're moving around the room and solving these. We did not get to that today because we didn't do centers today. We had a bit of a slow start, but that's there. Oh, someone asked me about book bingo. Clearly it's falling off the wall. I started, as you can see, maybe with 2 students, but then I had to do M class and testing and it just got in the way. It hasn't been something that I started yet. I want a parent volunteer to come in and do that with my kids. So it's something I'm going to plan on incorporating later once we really get our routines and everything down. It's still so early in the year. Like I said, we just started reading groups. So I use these self-stick flags that are kind of like highlighters for this poster. Eventually I want to get this laminated, but you know, I'm behind. And then I can circle the transitions I want my kids to use. But this is just traffic light transitions. So I'm having my kids choose between these 3 for their first word, and then they can use all of these as they're writing and then choose one to end with. So I just pointed out the ones that we're focusing on right now. I do have my big book for nonfiction, and this board's kind of a jumbled mess of everything we're learning right now. My skeleton is over here. So that's the model I used. We are going to label them tomorrow, but they're not going to write the word. We have cut out labels. One of my students left his smoothie thing. I'm cringing. Currently, my kids have brought it upon themselves to store their counters in their little caddies, which is so cute. One table did it one day and then they all started doing it, and it's just so easily accessible. So that's been awesome. The folders have been fine. Clearly, the table is a little off right now, but I just can't deal with that right now. We do have a counter on the floor and a Q-tip, but I think I'm gonna come in tomorrow and get some things done. All right, so I'm about to head out, but clearly my head is just all over the place and I just can't focus at the end of the day anymore. I'm turning into, I totally can't think of it right now. Elementary Adventures. I'm turning into her, like my brain's off. I need to go home. I woke up at 5:50 today, which is so much better than I've been doing. So my goal is to wake up earlier and come in earlier tomorrow so I can get stuff done. But I'm gonna go home. I like to sit on my couch and just look over my kids' work, grade their work, get my head wrapped around tomorrow. I don't know if I get like, it's not anxious. I just like to be home with my boyfriend and just feel relaxed. I just feel like there's too much going on when I'm here. So I'm gonna clear off my desk and then I'm gonna head out, and hopefully I will be more with it tomorrow. I'll see you guys. Hey guys, so sorry for the super weird angle, but my lights are really terrible in my apartment at night. So I have my desk light on right now. I haven't been vlogging at school because, well, let's see, today's only Wednesday. Yesterday I had robotics training right after school, so I had to leave right away to go to that. And then today, my partner and I, my coach, co-coach, I don't know. We were going through our robotics applications because we are sending out letters Monday about who's on the team. And then at 4 o'clock, I had a conference and that lasted an hour and a half. It was my first legit individual conference because in the past, I've worked on a team, so more than one teacher was there. So I never ran it all by myself, but I loved it. I wasn't nervous at all. I just like had prepared what I was going to say, and clearly it went well. It lasted a really long time. We talked about a lot of different things, so that went great. This morning I also started tutoring one of my students, the one who I was talking about to you guys, who I said I was going to do some tier 2 stuff with. I'm just going to do it before school because there is no time in the day and he deserves the one-on-one attention. So we're just doing phonics practice and how to decode words and things, and that's going really well. Tutoring went really well. I'm also going to add another child to that because he can benefit from the phonics as well. So I'm doing that, and we had a math test today on multiplication and division. Basically, look at this array model, what equation matches it? Look at this repeated addition, what equation matches it? Look at these equal groups, what equation matches it? Really basic models with equations. And my kids did well. I only had 2 that were below a B, actually. So they understood it. The only thing is, I had a few kids coming up to me and like it would say 3 times 5. And the answer would be 5 plus 5 plus 5, right? 3 groups of 5. But the kids did not realize that they could check their work by solving 3 times 5 equals 15 and knowing that 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. They haven't conceptualized that those equations are the same because they equal the same thing. So I'm not liking how I've been teaching. and I've been going along with the rest of my team because we planned together, and we've been following New York Engage, or Engage New York, whatever it's called, Eureka Math, I don't know. I really like how that broke it down. I know some people love it, I know some people hate it. However, the problem set had them write how many groups, write how many objects were in each group, write the total, fill in the equation. Like, it was very repetitive, and the kids just started, I feel like, filling in numbers without reading what they were even filling in, and they were just going through the motions, and then their homework would look exactly the same, so they knew the pattern of it. And that's what I was noticing on their test today. They knew the pattern. If they had a multiplication, they knew they needed a repeated addition. If it talked about splitting or dividing, they knew they needed division, but some of them didn't. Sometimes some of them chose division when it was repeated addition, and I was like, okay, hold on. What is repeated addition the same as? And they'd say multiplication, and I say, then why did you pick the division equation? Some of them are still lost, even though they did very well in this test. Like I said, they were just following patterns. I want them to truly understand it. And so I'm gonna go back to my original plan at the beginning of the year, and that's to Magic of Math. Hope King and Amy Lemon's math units that are engaging and interactive and fun and hands-on, to see if that makes a difference and to see if that will help them understand. So we are starting the unknown these next few weeks, and what I realized is I can map out my time from here until our next test and figure out the things that I need to teach before that test and fit it all in and teach it my way and see how they do on the test. Because I still feel like I'm guiding them too much during the test. So I printed out the whole lesson plan just to have. I don't know if I'm going to do every part, but I set everything up. My boyfriend helped me, and it was actually really easy to get everything together. So this is my plan. I'm starting with related facts. So basically fact families, which I've introduced them to already, and the mini lesson is about an array, writing the division equation, and then writing the multiplication equation and seeing how they are related. So visualizing that. Well, it came with a printout of squares, so I printed them out on just Astrobrite's paper. It's just regular printer paper. It's not cardstock. I figured not that many kids are going to be touching these, so it will be okay. It said to print 8 sheets, so I have 16 tiles. And what I'm planning on doing for my mini lesson tomorrow, instead of having them sit in their seats like they do every day, we're gonna make a circle on the carpet. I'm going to follow the lesson plan about building an array, about writing your multiplication equation for it, about writing your division equation for it, having a conversation about that, having a mathematical conversation, and then doing it the other way. So the first time we'll do 8 divided by 2, and then we'll change it to 8 divided by 4. So this will be something fun and different to do. I haven't decided if I'm going to have them write the equations in their notebooks or on a whiteboard. We will see, but that'll be something different. And then the activity, which I only have made 3 groups. Okay, sorry, I don't even know what I was saying. I was just sitting here and I got so lightheaded. I had to go lie down. I've already eaten dinner, so I don't know what that was about, but it was weird. It felt like I was gonna pass out because I hadn't eaten. It was weird. Anyway, while I was doing that, we got news that we have a delay tomorrow because Hurricane Michael, is now coming from the other side of the coast, and it's going to smash into us. And even though we closed 2 days last time for Hurricane Florence, and there was nothing terrible even happening except a few power outages and a little heavy rain at times. we have to make up those days. I don't want to make up days because we make up days on work days. I need a work day as a teacher. I want a full day of school tomorrow, but we have a delay with an option to close, which means we're going to close because all the counties around us have either closed or they have early releases. So we're gonna close. Anyway, back to this activity. So I made 3 sets of these dominoes that comes with this lesson, and obviously I will link it all down below. It comes as a unit. This is the multiplication and division unit because it's combining them, which we are working on. So since I do centers, I only have up to 6 students at independent practice at a time. Now this won't be very independent, but that's okay. So I have these dominoes, and what they are going to do, and this is all in the activity, what they're going to do is pick up a domino like a playing card, whoops, and they're going to draw it, and they're going to write the 2 multiplication and the 2 division that they can create with those numbers, and they will have to find the total. So maybe I won't have them draw the domino, but in that spot, maybe I'll have them write the 2 numbers, and then I will have them draw the model in that space, or else they'll like be confused. So there's a front and a back, there's 7 spots, and there's 7 total dominoes. So they will work on this with their partner. That way they get some partner practice. And then if there is time, there are these ice cream sundaes. Each kid would get a strip, and they would cut this out and glue it into their notebook, and each scoop would have a different related multiplication or division fact on it to make the fact family. I don't know if I'm going to do that part, but I printed it just in case I wanted to make copies at school tomorrow if we have school. And what I love about these lessons is they also come with a word problem, a daily word problem. And I'm going to go back to my original plan and do this in small group because it's important. And that's when I can truly see my kids individually working through it. So I'm going to make my extra copies at school tomorrow, but that is basically everything. And the lesson is beautiful and lined out for you. And then the other side talks about the mini lesson, the activity, and the interactive notebook, which is the ice cream sundae. It always comes with an interactive notebook, which is cool. We can even do this as part of the mini lesson if there's time. That way they have an example in their notebooks before they go do the activity. And now that I'm thinking of it, that sounds like a really good idea. That's my lesson for tomorrow. What I need to do now is create a homework page to go with it. And I think what I'm going to do, because from my conference, I understood this parent's frustration. She was like, I don't understand Common Core. I want to do less problems on homework, because she was also talking about how she gets home after work by 6 o'clock. Her child's like ready for bed and they have to do their homework then, and it's just a battle. And I'm just like, I feel for you. I don't want to do this. I know some teachers don't even give homework. I just feel a few problems of practice at home for math is just helpful to see what you remember outside of the classroom. So I'm going to create a sheet that says, at the top, like today we learned about related multiplication and division facts, and I'm going to give an example, and then I'm going to give 5 simple problems for the kids to do, and that's it. It will be based on what we did, but it won't be exactly what we did, like New York Engage or Engage New York, whatever it's called. The problem set and the homework look exactly alike with different numbers. So that's where that pattern repetition comes in. I don't want that. Yes, I want them to practice, but they're going to see it in different ways. So I want it to be seen in a different way. So that's my plan. I will catch up with you guys when I'm done with that.